Welcome to the Oh So Inspired YouTube Hop. I'm Shalana and I'm so excited you're joining me today. On the 20th of each month, the collaboration team led by Call Me Crafty Owl creates projects inspired by a featured card. Be sure to check out the description below for the full playlist, then hop along and show everyone some crafty love. Check out this month's inspiration card by Tina S. at Cards and Coffee Time on Instagram. This bold orange and turquoise flowers pop against the neutral background, while the grid pattern adds texture and interest. So let's go ahead and get started. I used a variety of products to create this card, pulling inspiration from several elements of the design. I especially love the color combination. It's not one I would normally put together, but I love how it turned out. The grid pattern also caught my eye, so I knew I wanted to incorporate both the florals and the grid elements into my card. And since I love a good ombre, using ink to create the effect on the sentiment was a plus. So I did do some ink blending with orange and red letters for the sentiment, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere the letters with Barely Arts glue on this beautiful piece of cardstock, which really made the letters pop. When you have that dark and those bright colors, it is just very eye-catching. So I didn't do the whole sentiment for you to see, but I just wanted you to get an understanding what type of dye I was using to add the letters to the shadow. Next up, I cut out several floral pieces in white cardstock, and I ink blended to add color. I used a really dark blue for the centers of the flower, and I used a white gel pen to add interest to the centers. I popped them up with 3D foam tape because I love dimension. I wanted to add some texture to this card, so I ran a piece of pattern paper through my die cutting machine using a 3D embossing folder, and then I am adhering it to the top fold card base. When you look at the picture of the card, it really doesn't do it justice, and that little bit of added texture really makes this card pop. Next, I die cut an oval from white cardstock and adhered it to the center of the card, creating a focal point for the design. And I had to incorporate the grid element from the inspiration card. So I used a delicate die cut grid using some silver cardstock. Now I'm playing around with the placement of the flowers and the foliage until I find the arrangement that I like. I wanted to be mindful of the colors next to the white flower and not overdoing it, considering I only cut out one white flower and had 2 orange flowers that I didn't want to overpower the arrangement. I trimmed a few of the leaves so they tucked perfectly behind the flowers, and I really liked adding the lighter blue teal leaves as it helped to break up the color scheme. I kept the floral arrangement toward the top half of the card, and I think that helped create some balance when it came to the overall card design. So I continued to play around with it a little bit and just made the necessary movements, considering I had this large, bold sentiment that was going to also take center stage when it came to the card. So one of my favorite tips and tricks is using press and seal to keep a floral arrangement perfectly in place. Once I was happy with the placement, I used a piece of press and seal. I placed it over the arrangement, and that allowed me to lift everything up. After adding adhesive, I just went ahead and placed this right back onto the card in the same exact spot where I had it. Have you tried this before? If not, I am sure your next crafty purchase will be some press and seal. So once I lay it down, I'm pressing just to make sure that my adhesive is adhering to the card base. And then I'm going to slowly peel back the press and seal. And there you have it. It's pure genius. And you can use this not only for flower arrangements, but pretty much anything. If you're building a scene, you could just pick it all up and put your adhesive on the back. So I love how this came out. Look at this. Turn it over. Nothing's falling off. I love a good splatter, so I pulled out my silver paint and added pretty texture and shine. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment. Then I had to think about it. I needed some gems, so we always need a little bit of sparkle. So that's what you're going to see me doing next. And I just love how this all came together. So one thing you don't want to forget to do is to hop along via that playlist that's in the description. Check out all the other inspiration creations and leave some love on their YouTube channels. I hope you enjoyed creating with me today. If you did, I'd love for you to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share it with a crafty friend. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Happy crafting!